Hi Aries, welcome to your week ahead horoscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant signs. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Aries, this is for you. And remember to watch all three of them because it's going to give you a clearer, more complete picture of how they speak to you. With that said, if you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So before we get into this, your key to the week is the Emperor card. Now, this is your card, right? The Emperor literally represents the sign of Aries. So this is going to be a week where you are starting to feel, right? We're not quite in Aries season yet. Obviously, at the end of this week, we've still got a week to go. We're not quite there yet, but this is you definitely starting to feel that the sun is coming into your sign. Remember, the sun is exalted in the sign of Aries. So he's happy there, right? He does good work in the sign of Aries, right? This is the rebirth of the zodiac in a lot of ways when the sun comes into your sign. But the fact that you have the Emperor this week means that you are starting to get your strength back. You're starting to get your mojo back. This is going to be you feeling very strong, very passionate. It's going to see you really starting to embrace all that you've experienced up until now, and this is where you put it into practice. What is the Emperor? Especially in the old days, the Emperor was also a warrior. This was somebody that was in command of armies. It was somebody that was in command of generals and captains and colonels and all of those sorts of things, right? So the fact that this card comes up for you as your key to the week, this is about you strategizing. This is about you saying, right, okay, what have I experienced up until now, and what am I going to be able to do with that? All of the pieces are there, Aries, this week. You're just putting them into practice. Quick note, if you haven't seen it, the Intuition Activation webinar is coming up. It is literally next week as I'm filming this, or next week from the week that I'm filming this on. You can get that. There's a whole bunch of goodies that come with it. And also you will be able to get lifetime access to the replay. You can check that out in the link in the description box below. So for your actions and options this week, you have the Nine of Pentacles. So a lot of you, Aries, have been patiently working away in behind the scenes, right? The Nine of Pentacles is a beautiful card, right? It really is. It literally represents beauty and refinement and all of those things. But it's also a card of hard work. When you see the Nine of Pentacles, it usually means that somebody has been putting in that work, right? And the fact that you have this as your actions and options card, very strong, very powerful, and it means that whatever you've been doing or working on behind the scenes is now starting to flourish. It's now starting to become something. It's now it's kind of like that moment where something becomes ripe or ready for the picking, right? So whatever it is that you've been working on this week, you really have a chance to make it happen. I really like this for you. I really like this for you. Remember as well, we've got that really powerful new moon at the end of this week. So I think it's on like the 12th or the 13th of March, and it really is a beautiful new moon. Use this one. Use your powers of visualization. Aries is very much, you know, yes, it's dynamic in energy, but it is also a very mental sign as well. So nice. For your communications and conversations, you have the Temperance card. So look at this, right? You've got the Temperance card right underneath the Emperor. This week, if you see or feel anything that you feel is unfair, unjust, you are going to stamp it out. Like this week, I feel sorry for anybody that tries to commit a crime or do something that's unethical. Do you know what I mean? Like this week, it looks like you are very, very focused on making sure that every interaction that you have, people deal with you and treat you fairly. And not just for you as well, this is for others as well. Now, it does look like this week you may be brought into conversations that either have nothing to do with you or are a little bit dramatic. And it kind of feels to me like you're like, you know what, I've got so much going on of my own stuff. I'm not really interested in this. But as soon as you see that someone or something is being unfair or unjust, you are going to speak up, right? So for those of you that work for somebody else, this is great because the hard work and the effort that you've put in is now starting to pay off. all of the work that you've been doing to manifest a better job, to manifest more money, to manifest the promotion, to get your superiors to see you, this week it starts to pay off. This week you are going to see yourself coming up trumps. For those of you that work for yourselves, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, business owners, this is really nice because it means that you are now being seen as an authority in your field, or you are at least being treated like a peer. So if you have been working to break a certain industry or to get a certain type of client, all of that kind of stuff, this week you're going to see the results from it. Your hard work and sustained effort pays off. This week you're going to get some form of a reward in that regard, which is really nice. For those of you that are retired or no longer working for any reason, I really like this for you. It does suggest that you might be interacting with a healthcare professional of some sort. So maybe this is, you want to take your healthcare to the next level. Maybe you are, managing a chronic situation and this week you have a breakthrough. Maybe you find a doctor or a medical professional that is of an alternative sort of mind. And there are plenty out there. As far as I'm aware, there's also, like in the UK, we literally only have one. She is a doctor who is allowed to practice medical astrology alongside her allopathic medicine, which I think is fucking awesome. And she's allowed to do that because her first degree was in medicine. And then she went on to study medical astrology. She went through this whole massive process, but basically she's like, as far as I'm aware, maybe there are more now, but I know at the time she was the only one that was allowed to practice astrology alongside her Western medicine, which is phenomenal. Anyway, for your money and materials, you have the Devil card, all right? So all work and no play makes Aries a very dull ... This is one of the things that I really want you to watch out for this week, because there's a lot going on. You are very busy. You've been working really hard up until this point. And it kind of feels, if I'm completely honest with you, it's like you're not really fussed about the money. It's like, I've got so much other stuff going on that I don't have time to spend the money that I have. And more importantly, it's like for a lot of you, I feel like this is going to be an overindulgence, whether that is sex, whether it's drugs, whether it's, alcohol, whether it's smoking, like whatever it is. This week, you are going to have that realization, actually, I'm doing a little bit too much of this, all right? And the reason you're doing this is because it brings you comfort in the hard work that you're going through. Now, when it comes to money itself, if I'm honest, even though it's the Devil card, I kind of feel like, yes, you're chasing the money, but I kind of feel like that's not really the end goal. It's just like, yeah, you know what, money's coming in. It's like you don't really have the time or the energy to spend it at the moment, which is not a bad thing considering, by the time we get to summer, everything's going to open up again. So, you'll have this sort of lovely little nest egg in the background there. For your, come on, brain. Physical health and vitality, whatever your vices are this week, they may get the better of you, but it looks like you have the realization fairly quickly. It's like you'll feel this and you'll be like, oh, you know what, maybe I need to give this a rest for the moment. For your home and environment, because you got the Temperance card there as well. This week, and I say this gently because you are an Aries, you have an apology to give, not one to receive. This week it looks like you have an apology to give, and to be honest with you, I think you for those of you that this does speak to, you'll know who this person is. Until you make that apology, I don't think things are going to move forward for you in that regard. Apart from that, everything else looks good. For your love and relations, you've got the Four of Wands. This is lovely, right? So for those of you that are single, definitely a potential to meet someone here. Now, the thing that I am seeing here though, this could be, 0 to 100 on the physical. It could be sexy, vibrant, sensual, all of that. And then, what happens when you hit that stuff too hard, you kind of burn out on it. And then after a while, it's like, oh, okay, well, there's not really much else for us to kind of connect on. If you really see this person as, for some of you, maybe this is the apology. For others, if you really do see yourself being with this person for any length of time, it would be wise to put the brakes on. All right, you don't have to stop, you just have to slow down. Now, when it comes to those of you that are married or partnered, I mean, and for those of you that are single, that are meeting someone or connecting with someone, the energy is great. It's just, like I said, it might be too much too quickly, you know. For those of you that are in relationships, married, partnerships, etc., I mean, you could do worse than the Four of Wands, right? This is you guys celebrating some form of good news, and it's very likely to have something to do with either your work or the partner's work, or very likely to have something to do with travel plans that are now finally going ahead. Interestingly enough, though, these won't be travel plans that really shape up for you until the latter end of the year. So just something for you to think about. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Please don't forget to check out the Life Path monthly numerology tarot scope. There's going to be a link floating up about somewhere that I'll put in the video. All right, with that said, take care and I'll see you soon.